Hello everyone, welcome to Antenna Theory lecture series. Today we will see the one of the type of horn antenna, that is pyramidal horn. Okay, so earlier I have made some videos. In that videos I have explained the basic types of horn, how horn antenna works, its construction, advantages, disadvantages, its frequency range and applications. So in this video we will discuss the first type of horn antenna, that is pyramidal horn. Okay, so this is a picture of pyramidal horn. For that horn we are providing rectangular waveguide which will feed to the horn. Okay, so before moving to the actual pyramidal horn, I want to tell you some basic things regarding with the horn antenna. So that is, what is the purpose of providing this horn like structure, or we can say flaring. Okay, this is also called as flaring. So without flaring, electromagnetic waves cannot be transferred in the space. Okay, that means there are some diffraction or reflection at the opening of pyramid if there is no flaring. Okay, so you know that the waveguide is a device which is closed at the one end and the open at the other end. It is used to transmit electromagnetic waves from transmitter to receiver, or it will also use to transmit radio waves or electromagnetic waves in the space. So these waves will be comes out from the opening to travel in the space. But at the opening of waveguide, if there is no flaring, okay, or we can say if there is no horn, then the waves coming from the waveguide will reflect back. Okay, and this causes some hazardous effect on transmitter. That is, it may cause standing wave ratio, that is SWR. There will be so much wasting of energy, loss of power, and possibly overheating of transmitter. And so all the waves which are traveling from, which are coming from the waveguide to travel in the space, will not be transmitted in the space. Okay, so what is the reason behind that? The reason is there is no impedance matching between waveguide impedance and free space impedance. As we all know, the standard impedance of the waveguide is 50 ohm plus or minus 10 ohm. Okay, this is the standard value for the waveguide impedance, that is 50 plus or minus 10 ohm, and this free space impedance is 377 ohm. Okay, the free space impedance is 377 ohm. So to match the impedance between waveguide and this space, we have to provide some flaring at the opening of waveguide. Okay, so due to that flaring, the waves coming from the waveguide, which we want to travel in the space, will have impedance matching with the free space impedance. Okay, so basic thing or the basic principle behind providing this flaring or the horn is that it should match. There should be matching between impedance between waveguide and the free space. Okay, so this is the main objective of providing flaring at the opening of waveguide. So to improve those characteristics of the transmitter, the ends of waveguide are flared out. Okay, the ends of waveguide are flared out to form a horn like structure. The taper of the horn changes the impedance gradually. Okay, the tapering in the horn will changes the impedance gradually. That means it will try to match the impedance of free space and the waveguide. So this acts like a impedance matching transformer, allowing most of the wave energy to radiate out at the end of horn into space with minimum reflection. Okay, so it allows most of electromagnetic waves or radio waves to radiate in this space with minimum reflection. So this is basic idea in providing the flaring at the opening of waveguide. So this is basic working of this horns antenna. The working and the concept will be same in the all types of horn. That is, this is the case of pyramidal horn. Earlier I have made one video regarding the sectoral horn, that is E plane horn and H plane horn. and I will make one video regarding with the conical horns. So we will move forward for the description of pyramidal horn. So the pyramidal horn is a horn antenna with the horn in the shape of four-sided pyramid with rectangular cross section. They are common type used with rectangular waveguides and radiate linearly polarized radio waves. Okay, so it has flaring to the E side and the H side, that means towards the electric field orientation vertically and towards the H side. H side means magnetic field orientation. Okay, so it has flared structure that is towards the electric field also and towards the magnetic field also. Okay, electric field is shown by capital E, which is vertically oriented, and the H is the horizontally oriented, which is nothing but the magnetic field. So at the opening of waveguide there is a flaring to the E plane and H plane also, or we can say towards the electric field orientation and towards the magnetic field orientation. So it is called as pyramidal horn. Okay, that means a horn antenna with horn in the shape of four sided pyramid with rectangular cross section. Okay, that is, it has rectangular cross section, that means opening of the horn. They are very common type used with the rectangular waveguides and radiate linearly polarized radio waves. Okay, so the feeding mechanism for this horn is through the rectangular waveguides. There are some other types of horns also, like conical horn or exponential horn. So for that horns there is a circular waveguide or cylindrical waveguides are used. But in the case of pyramidal horn, we can see from this picture there is a rectangular waveguide used to feed the horn. The next line is, the pyramidal horn is probably the most popular antenna in the microwave frequency, ranges from 1 gigahertz up to 18 gigahertz. So it has very much bandwidth. The feeding waveguide is flared in both direction, the A plane, E plane and H plane. Like I have told earlier, that is, the flaring is done in the both direction towards the electric field orientation and towards the magnetic field orientation. It is shown by E plane and H plane. All results are combinations of E plane sectoral horn and the H plane sectoral horn. So E plane principle, 1 minute. So E plane principal pattern of the pyramidal horn is the same as the E plane principal pattern of the sectoral horn. Also it's same for H plane patterns of the pyramidal horn and the H plane sectoral horn. Okay, that means it is combination of E plane pattern and H plane pattern, and which is same for E plane sectoral horn and H plane sectoral horn. So please remember, these are the basic things of the pyramidal horn, that is its structure, its frequency range, or we can say bandwidth, also its feeding mechanism, the flaring, the construction, flaring construction towards the E plane and H plane, and also the pattern of this pyramidal horn is the same like E plane sectoral pattern and H plane sectoral pattern. So we'll move forward. The frequency range of these antennas are given, that is, these horn are widely used as antenna at UHF ultra high frequency and micro frequency about 300 megahertz. So there are some advantages of the pyramidal horn, that is, they have moderate directivity. Okay, its directivity can be improved with the slant length increasing and the dimension of front aperture. Okay, so the directivity can be improved with this help of this two dimension. We will see its formula so that you will clear how the directivity will increase with the help of some modification in the construction. There are also low standing wave ratio, that is SWR. There is low standing wave ratio, broad bandwidth, simple construction and adjustment. So these are the basic advantages regarding with the pyramidal horn. So we'll move forward for the applications of this horn antenna. So they are used as a feeders, or we can say feed horns for the larger antennas structure such as parabolic antennas. Also, it's as used as standard calibration antennas to measure the gain of other antenna, and as a directive antennas for such device as radars, guns, automatic door openers, and micro radiometers. So there are very wide applications of this pyramidal horn. That is, it can be used as a feeders for the large antenna. Okay, the larger antenna may be parabolic antennas. They are also used to standard calibration antennas to measure the gain of other antennas. They can be used as a directive antennas for radar guns, automatic door openers, and also they are used in micro radiometers. So these are the basic application of this pyramidal horn. So I think you have clear the basic concept of the pyramidal horn, that is its frequency range, its construction, also its feeding mechanism, its advantages and application. So we will move forward for the most important part, that is design equations of pyramidal horn. There are so many equations to design the pyramidal horn, that is it's to improve its bandwidth, also to improve its gain. The basic aim behind the design equations of the horn, that the pyramidal horn should have better directivity and wide bandwidth. Also it has more gain as compared to other antennas. So the first formula is the field distribution at the aperture is approximated with this equation. So there are various parameters. The directivity of pyramidal horn can be found by introducing the phase efficiency factors, okay, of the both planes and the taper efficiency factor of H plane. We can see from the epsilon equations, that is d suffix p is equal to 4 pi upon lambda square, where is it multiplication of phase efficiency factors of both planes and the taper efficiency factor of H plane. We can see these equations of epsilon t. This is tapering efficiency factor 8 upon pi square. The another one is phase efficiency factors, the formula of rho and the q. Please remember those formulas. Those are very important regarding with the design consideration of pyramidal horn. We can see the factor E suffix t explicitly shows the aperture efficiency associated with the aperture cosine taper. The factor E suffix ph is the aperture efficiency associated with the aperture phase distribution. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the epsilon t and epsilon ph, that is Et is explicitly shows the aperture efficiency associated with the aperture cosine taper. Okay, so this is tapering efficiency, that is Et, epsilon t, and the next factor is the epsilon ph is the aperture efficiency associated with the phase distribution. There are some other equations also, that is optimal directivity of E plane horn is achieved at the q is equal to 1, that is epsilon ph, that is aperture efficiency of phase distribution, is equal to 0.8, and the optical directivity of H plane horn is achieved at the small t is equal to 3 by 8, which is nothing but the epsilon ph is equal to 0.79. So please remember the values of these two factors of the aperture efficiency with E plane and the aperture efficiency with H plane. Thus the optimal horn has the phase aperture efficiency. Okay, so this is total phase aperture efficiency is a multiplication of aperture efficiency of E plane and the H plane, which is given by 0.632. So these are the standard values of the optimal horn has a phase aperture efficiency. So please remember these three values, that is the first value is of aperture efficiency of E plane horn, that is 0.8. Second value is aperture efficiency of H plane horn, that is 0.79, and combination of these two we got phase aperture efficiency, that is epsilon ph is equal to 0.632. So the total aperture efficiency includes the taper factor. So now again it is multiplied by epsilon t, which is nothing but the tapering factor. So the total aperture efficiency is given by, it is product of epsilon t, that is tapering factor, epsilon ph, which is regarding with the h plane horn, and it's multiplied by epsilon ph of e plane horn, which is nothing but the aperture efficiency, which is given by 0.51. So this is total aperture efficiency, we can be calculated using these three values. So please remember these standard values to calculate aperture efficiency, and the above formulas, those are very important. So we will move forward for the next thing, that is design parameters of pyramidal horn. So the initial design parameters will be the frequency 8 GHz, E plane aperture is equal to 1 centimeter, H plane aperture is equal to 1 centimeter, E plane axial length is equal to 3 centimeter, and H plane axial length is equal to 3 centimeter. So these are the basic design parameters to design any pyramidal horn. You should remember this thing. There are some other parameters also will be changed as if you want to increase the directivity or the gain, the design parameters will be changed regarding with E plane aperture, H plane aperture, and also with axial length of E plane and H plane. So in this example, we can see the frequency at 8 GHz, that is pyramidal horn is operating at the frequency 8 GHz. E plane aperture is 1 centimeter, H plane aperture is 1 centimeter, E plane axial length is equal to 3 centimeter, and H plane axial length is equal to 3 centimeter. So from this table, you can see the effect of variation in the horn aperture. Aperture is a front portion of the horn, okay, which is nothing but the cross section. When the horn aperture is increasing, likewise we can see in the column first, the aperture is given in centimeter. So we are increasing the horn aperture, that is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, and 5 centimeter. Also there is increase in directivity, okay. Likewise, that is for 1 centimeter, the directivity of horn antenna is 5.8. Like last one is for 5 centimeter, the directivity is increased, that is 10.4. So likewise we can say when the horn aperture is increases, the gain is also increases, and the directivity will be also increases. So this is graph of gain, that is we are increasing the aperture in centimeter, also the gain is increasing. It increases from 6 decibels to up to more than 10 decibels for 1 to 5 centimeters increase in aperture. So this is another table of effect of horn length. So if the horn length is increases, then the gain is decreases. We can see E and H plane horn length are given in centimeters, and the second column is of gain in decibels. So likewise we can see for 1 centimeter of horn length, the gain is 5.8, but as we increase the length, there is decrease in gain, okay. So we can say for the 5 centimeter, the gain will be 1, and for the 1 centimeter, the gain will be 5.8. We can see it from this graph. So this graph shows the gain versus the length of the aperture. So we can see as the length is increases, the gain of the horn will decrease, okay. From this table we can plot this chart against the gain and the length of aperture. So these are basic advantages. I will quickly review on this. So first advantage of this pyramidal horn, it has high data rate system. It needs to be operated at high frequency range in order to achieve higher bandwidth. This can be easily achieved using horn antenna, okay. That means we can achieve higher bandwidth using horn antenna. The complexity involved in the design of horn antenna is less as compared to phase array antennas and corrugated cosines. That means it can be easily manufactured, or we can say the design considerations are simple to design the horn antenna as compared to phase array and corrugated cosines. The feeding horn antenna is less complex as compared to other antennas which require complex feeding techniques. If the horn antenna is properly designed and optimized, then side lobes can be suppressed to very low levels. Okay, that means we are increasing SNR, single side lobe ratio. The last thing is power handling capability of horn antenna is superior to other antennas at this waveguide feed antenna, especially in the use of TWT, that is traveling wave tube, used in satellites, radars, and many other applications. So horns have eventually been used in terrestrial microwave communication. They can also be found on many line of sight LOS microwave relay towers. Horn antennas are used in the remote sensing satellites, communication satellites, geographic information, and weather satellite. So these are the applications of the horn antenna. It has very wide applications like in the LOS microwave towers, in TWTs used in satellites, radars, and many other applications, in communications, geographic informations, and weather satellites. So please remember these are the advantages and some applications are given of the pyramidal horn. So that's it for this video. I will make one video for the conical horn. So this is all regarding with the pyramidal horn. Thank you.